fabulous shot.
It's our men's second semifinal to see who will oppose Victor Selinski from Poland. Welcome to Battle Creek, Michigan and the Kellogg Arena. It is the Michigan Open, brought to you by Samsung TV Plus. It's one of the Predator Pro Billiard Series stops, one of the main tour stops here in Battle Creek. And isn't this something? We've got our three-time winner, Fedor Gorst, on the right of your picture, and Aloysius Yapp, the two-time winner of this event. I mean, could you ask for a better setting? And alongside multi-time Canadian champion Eric Horlison, I'm Jim Weitz. We're going to be bringing you all the action here, and this is really one of the more mouth-watering prospects that everybody was looking forward to when they made their way to Battle Creek, Eric.
Yeah, real heavyweight battle here. Going to be in for a good match.
Yeah, you've got to expect that mistakes are going to be at a premium, and if Fedor Gorst's play leading up to the semifinal is any indication, Aloysius knows he's got to find another gear. Rack number one. Best 2 out of 3 sets, races to 4. And if we go to a third and deciding set and get to Hill, well, the infamous shootout materializes.
10 ball flew towards the corner there, but didn't go in. Bunch of balls between the 1 and the cue ball, but he has a lane to pocket it. Feel like he's going to take the same lane back towards the 2. Every game is big here in a race to 4, and the threat of each player breaking and running multiple racks at a time. In our other semifinal match, Victor Selinski won the first set in about under 20 minutes, broke and ran 3 of the racks. So at this level, these players are really, you know, they're near the end of the tournament. They're playing their best, and every chance is big. Nice shot there.
Beautifully controlled.
6 doesn't pass into the most obvious pocket. 5's on the same end of the table. He's going to probably be shooting the 6 in the long pocket, as he's kind of looking at right now. You see these top players, they're planning out the whole rack and how they're going to navigate, especially the problems, which is going to be the 6 ball here. He's also taking a look that the 4 might not pass the 9.
And at this level, Eric, these guys will already be concerning themselves. They identify the problem areas on the table as soon as the rack is broke.
And the tricky part about it, too, is that he has to do it within a 30-second shot clock. He's probably running right down to the end of the shot clock here, but you could see that he wasn't rushed. He was just considering all the options and had the shot clock in mind as well. The way he's looking at it, the 4 passes the 9, especially the way he played position here. I feel like it leads back into coming over to the right side of the table and pocketing the 4 in the bottom left. Might overhit the speed here. Watch out for the 8. He might have decided that the 4 didn't pass the 9 and tried to play into the side. He's got it in the side now, so he's in good position here.
He's had a look at that 6. Possibly that 6 passes the 7.
Yeah, he was looking at that earlier too. I mean, it's tight, but if it does, it's going to help him as far as the overall run out here. He wants to play it in the shorter pocket for sure. Judging by how straight he got here, I believe it does pass in the top right. He's looking at it again. It's tight. So if it is that tight, I guess it's missable.
Hey, Eric, I'm looking at Aloysius sitting in his chair with his arms crossed. How often do you see a player sitting in his chair with his arms crossed?
Yeah, not often. I guess he just knows he's unlikely to get back to the table. Good pot there. Really underrated how accurate you have to be when hitting the ball at that speed. Not just the cueing, but the targeting into the pocket. Played it perfect. Yeah, he really didn't want to mess with shooting the 6 into the long pocket here. He's had a look at it like 3 or 4 times, but he just wants to favor the shorter pocket. You got it. The 8 is about half pocket into the corner as well. You're on the line pretty good there, Jim. What are you thinking on that
Yeah,
one?
half the pocket at best, Eric.
Okay.
And inside half at that. And we've seen a couple balls refused in that corner when they've contacted the near point.
Still feel like he will favor to pocket it straight in. Don't want to mess with combos unless you absolutely have to.
And he wants to be right behind it.
Got pretty good on it.
Again, he won't have to pump this in because that would shrink the pocket, so he can float this in and just kill the cue ball.
Yeah, just a soft draw, accept more angle on the 9 if you have to.
That's exactly what he did.
Yeah, smooth opening rack here. As usual. You know, with Fedor, it's not just that the level that he plays at when he's playing his best, but the consistency of how often he plays at that level is just, you know, got to consider him in the argument for maybe the best player in the world, for sure somewhere in the top 5.
And you know something, you just don't see him struggle. You don't see him play bad. I mean, it's rare when he misses anything easy, and that's always the mark of a, you know, of a top player, is you just don't see easy balls missed.
Yeah, I played him once at the Turning Stone, not the last event, but the event before that. I missed a 9 in the 3rd game. It's just like that one mistake is too much. He beat me 9-3, broken around like 5 of the racks, right?
And we've already seen how adept he is with the short cue. There's nobody in the world, for me, that jumps the ball better than Fedor.
Well, that's the other weapon too, is if for some reason he gets himself in trouble or if his opponent is playing safe against him, you got to consider him almost 50-50 to jump in any ball, if not higher. Like the easy ones, he's going to make it a high percentage, but even the tough ones, he's making like half the time. It's just a great all-around player.
And he's still young.
Yeah. I mean, his list of accomplishments, there's no point on even listing his list. It's so long, and he's still younger than 25.
As we said, a 3-time Predator Pro Billiard Series winner already this year. And he's locked horns with the 2-time defending champion. Like Aloysius Yapp does not know what it's like to taste defeat in the Michigan Open yet. 3rd year here. Funny enough, I think on day 1 I said the road to the title went through the holder. Well, Fedor heard me.
Yeah. It was inevitable. Yapp's been a little bit weaker on the international scene as of the last 6 months, but, you know, he's right up there with the best players in the world, no doubt. Former runner-up at the U.S. Open. Square hit on the 1, got the 4-railer in the corner, and the 10's over the corner.
Yeah, and possibility. You see the 1 in the middle, he's on it, but look at that cluster over on the left. So he may be looking at a 2-10 combination earlier rather than later.
He's definitely going to be favoring the combo here, especially where the 4-7-9 is. There's a 3-rail play into the kind of short side of the 2, but he's not looking at that. I'm kind of surprised. He's going to play a carom off the 2 into the 10. Decided pretty quick here, so he knows what he's doing.
Well, he's got to target the 10 here.
I think so. It's kind of an odd pattern because he definitely can't wait to get to the 4. He can't break out the 4. I mean, I saw it getting the cue ball a little bit more to the left and playing a combo from the 2 to the 10. He hasn't called the 10 yet, though. didn't hear him call the 10. I guess he did. Guess we missed that one. That's the right play for sure.
Yeah, normally a player will just point to the pocket and identify the pocket. I mean, our referee, Angela, she knew where the 10 was, so she kind of assumed that that was always going to be a target. But you know something? I think Fedor is letting her know, because we've noted that that 10 is tracking towards that corner pocket after every break.
So it seemed not to happen for a few matches, and you and I commentated a match earlier in the week where it was happening, and now the first 2 breaks of this match, it has happened again. You know, the ref doesn't want that. The players don't want that. We want to see a full game. It works both ways badly to have early combos. You want to have the most movement in the game, but she's aware of it. I mean, she's gonna try to rack the rack as tight as possible. If it is tight, it won't track towards the corner.
I have no doubt that's what Fedor was telling her.
Yeah.
So let's keep an eye on that 10, Eric, to see if it's problem solved. Rack number 3, 2-0 already the lead.
It's away from the pocket this time. Made a ball on the side. Got a shot on the 1. Typical start for Fedor.
2 in the open, 3 in the open. 3-0 looming.
He'd want to be straight enough on this ball that he can draw straight back above the 3, but it looks like he might not be able to, so he's considering options. What's going to happen off the short rail, going to the left a little bit. There's a track between the 6-7. It's a bit of a stun follow play. It's a tricky hit, but nothing's above his level, of course. Nicely played. Too much angle. I feel like he's too thin to draw out of it to the right side rail, which would be the most obvious play. He's going to have to play 2 rails out of the corner here. Cue ball is going to be traveling towards the 5-8. It is possible to weave the cue ball all the way around to the left of the 9 and then past the 8. I feel like that's what he'll be going for.
Either way, that's not the best positional shot we've seen from Gorst. He's left himself a bit to do.
He's actually choosing the other pocket and going to play longer position. This is a better track. There's less balls going that way. Only ball he had to avoid there was the 10 and did it perfectly. Nice shot.
Pretty knowledgeable crowd, understanding the degree of difficulty in that shot, having to use inside spin and allow for the deflection.
Rest of the rack lies pretty good. He'll be wanting to get good on the 5 here. Might consider running into the 6. Just nudged it, but he's in good line here. Shaking his head a bit. The drawing angle might be going right back at the 6. He wants it to be going right or left. Might have to cheat at certain parts of the pocket to get the desired result.
There's one thing I've noted with Fedor that I find very unusual. And again, for those of you that may not be aware of my background, it's a snooker background. Very seldom do you see a player decelerate into the cue ball. And he plays a lot of shots where it's a faster takeaway than delivery.
Yeah, so and his backstroke's really long, right? So when your backstroke is that long, it's going to lead into decelerating a little bit. And, you know, people always talk about decelerating as a real no-no to do as far as fundamentals, but Shane kind of does that too.
Well,
so
he's got long forearms, as does Shane, but I mean, it also affords him an incredible touch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can feel the cue ball better like that. The tip stays on the ball longer. It's tough to actually execute, but if you can, it's really, it can help you. It's in good line here. Quick 3-0 lead and the break.
And I haven't seen Aloysius put his arms down yet.
No need to.
He's a special talent.
It's almost like you expect it from him every match at this point, right? You know, some players have good matches, but for him, the consistency of how well he just comes out and plays at a high
And
level is
the intimidation
really impressive.
factor too. That's
Sure, he's got that going now.
That's
as well.
there.
Yeah.
3-0. And looking around, Eric, still a lot of people here. There were a lot of people here last night. The league events going on. 149 teams, Ozzie Reynolds was telling us this morning at breakfast, came to contest the Michigan State Championships. Amateur leagues.
Yeah, 5 players a team. Over 1,000 players in the room right now, probably.
Well, the Kellogg Arena here in Battle Creek, Michigan. It's been home to this event for the last 3 years now. No more ice hockey here. Well, you might as well bring the pool players in.
It's a nice venue for a tournament. Nice stadium seating on both sides. Big pop break there. The 9's going to go if it doesn't get kicked. The 6 kicked it, but then it went in. He's got a ball. Thin cut on the 1. It's makeable, though. Cue ball's going to be tracking back and forth. Cross table twice. Has to try to target the cue ball between the 7-8, along with pocketing a tough ball. High level shot here. But no mistakes up to this point, so even though it's tough, you'd expect him to get it. Just take note of the pre-shot preparation too, right? He's looking at the angle that the cue ball has to come across. He's looking at the contact point here, into his sighting of the shot. All these things matter, playing at a real high level.
Yeah, and you can draw comparisons to professional golfers. If a plane goes by overhead while they've gone through their pre-putt routine, if you will, they start all over.
Sure.
They don't work under a shot clock, though.
No kidding, yeah.
But if anything takes them out of their original focus and their original mindset, they start all over again. And, well, that's kind of what Fedor does. And he's raising the bar in that regard.
Got absolutely perfect on the 2. Rest of the rack looks okay. Feel like the 4 passes the 10. He might cross it over for the short pocket. Looks like he's going to. Got a little straighter than what he would have liked here. Could be going 2 rails forward when he wanted to go 1 rail back. 1 rail back. Might be a straight back draw angle as well. It's right in line. Over top of the 7, but it won't hurt him too much. The 5's easy enough. See how he plays the 9. There's a 3 rail play. I mean, it's kind of close to the rail, so he might favor just going 1 rail straight up.
Aloysius got to break in the first rack.
And never got up again. Wow. That's an interesting thing about this format, though, is if he wins the next set, he's all level. It's not like he's, he's down. He'll be down a set, but will he be breaking? Fedor will be breaking first in the second set. Yeah.
Yeah, the bad news continues. Aloysius broke in the opening set, so Gorst will break in set number 2. And he just deposited set number 1 with 3 break and runouts to close it out. 4-0.
Clinical.
And they're going to take a short break, and we too will be taking a short break. We'll be back for set number 2. Set number 2. And you have to wonder. Aloysius broke in set number 1. Never got out of his chair again. The bad news continues because it's Fedor to break. to start set number 2. He finished set number 1 with 3 break and runouts, and it was a display of pool that many here in the Kellogg Arena have probably never seen before except on television.
Handball went in, doesn't count on the break. Didn't get a shot. Hit it a little bit to the right. Cue ball started tracking to the right. Look at this, straight to the jump cue. Not even, I mean, he's bringing his jump cue over because there's a shot clock, right? But what an aggressive jump this would be. Looks like he's leaning towards pushing. Doesn't really like it so far. I was thinking about pushing around where he's standing now. Down in the bottom right corner pocket.
It's just really a question, Eric, of not giving your opponent an easy, aggressive option.
Yeah, so if he pushes down by the right corner pocket, Yapp is just going to overcut cut the one to the left side rail and play the one by the 9. So he decided to push him a little more direct onto it where he doesn't have that option. Kind of looks like there's room past the 5, but there definitely is, and he would have never pushed it there.
Quick look at the shot clock too for Yapp, but you just know he's hesitant to give it back.
Sure. Come up with some kind of safe. I mean, I could see playing the cue ball behind the 9 here. Yeah, it was tough to hit it thin enough. Left it right over the pocket.
And that is a byproduct of just no table time.
Sure, yeah. I mean, he felt like he had to take it. He knew it was tough to hit it that thin. Just caught it fractionally too thick.
Yeah, just having spent the last 20 minutes or so in your chair and you come out and you've got to play a real deft touch shot like that, just not easy.
Bit of moving from the 6 to the 7, but he should be okay. Natural cue ball movement here. Next couple shots. Interesting. So he played the straighter side of it, so probably leads to playing the 4 in the corner. Could draw it more and still play the 4 on the side. Yeah, still went side. I like trying to get straight-ish on the 6 and then taking a track with the cue ball where you draw the cue ball back one rail in between the 7-9. I guess you could favor drawing it more over to the left side rail as well. Kind of guarantee yourself more of an angle on the 7. Got a little too much angle on this ball to get as close to the 6 as he would want. But he'll be okay. Cue ball's moving the right way for sure. Oh, there's a following angle between the 7-9, even better. He can control the cue ball more. Got on the thin side of it, so he'll be coming 2 rails back towards the 7. This ball's pretty close to the rail, which makes it tougher. But again, he's playing at such a high level, you would never expect him to miss.
Scary thought.
Yeah.
I forget he is human.
Yeah. Look at this. We cursed him. Missed the ball. You're right, he is human. Easy setup lead for Yapp as well. Well, Yapp needed this. I mean, you know, if Fedor kept rolling over him, could have been over quick again. But we'll see what Yapp can do with his first good offensive chance. I like going 2 rails forward here. Try to get an angle with the cue ball going to the right off the 8. Maybe 1 rail will do. Got a little straight, but he'll just play a draw straight back. When Yapp was runner-up in the U.S. Open, he played extremely well. Obviously, to make it that far in a big tournament like that, but he's capable of world-class, no-mistake play as well. Gonna get straight here. Still has a bit of an angle where he can go 2 rails forward. Just gonna end up being longer on the 10 than what he would have liked.
It's not going to be a long ways away from the spot shot that you see.
He's taking the draw option, so he'll probably get closer to it here.
Good shot.
Yeah, he was straighter than I thought. I thought he had an angle going to the right. Good shot, though.
Yeah. A must win for Aloysius Yapp, the defending champion. Secures the opening rack here in set 2. And that's how you spell relief. And he can take heart from the fact that he has at least seen his opponent miss at least 1 shot.
Sure.
We'll see if he can find the measure of the break. He hasn't broken since the very opening rack in the match. Came up dry and then went to his chair for 4 racks. We'll see if he can repay the favor.
Yeah, if I remember it right, he hit the rack pretty good, just ended up making one.
Same side of the table that Fedor was breaking from.
Nothing again. 2 balls tied up, though. Probably going to play safe on the 2. I feel like it'd be too aggressive to try to break it out. The safe's, as long as it gets on the right angle, the safe's pretty easy. Just play the cue ball behind the 5. Try to take away all the closest rails. It's going to have to combo the 9 in first, but the 9's pretty close to the pocket. I'd expect him to get it.
Again, that 10 over towards that bottom right corner. It's been pretty consistent. Actually, most of the day, really, even when we had a few of the ladies' matches on, that 10 was tracking towards that corner pocket.
Surprised he backed off there. I mean, I feel like, you know, could have played safe on the 2, could have had a good advantage in the rack. I think Yapp probably looking to make the same play right now. I think he went at the 10. Yeah, he knew the 2 was tied up, but I mean, imagine how tough that is, you know, playing a combo, like a kick combo. Yeah, over top of the ball. Still look for him to possibly get into that angle where he can play safe on the 2. If he pockets it in the right pocket, Cue ball's kind of leading towards the left pocket, so that's not going to help him overall. Called the 10 again. I mean, he's just being aggressive. He knows the 2's tied up, and he's trying to get at the 10.
Is he trying to go 2 cushions toward 10? Cut the 1 off the right cushion, trying to duck it in behind the 9?
Yes, that's a good play. So it's actually a 2-way, so he has a chance to win the game, and he's very likely to leave the 1 safe. Good call there.
That's what he's looking at, Eric. Thin clip on the 1, left-hand spin off 2 cushions.
Too wide. Might have, yeah, he did back off the 10 idea there and actually played safe, like not only the 1 safe, but trying to get the cue ball safe enough where he can't even hit the 1.
Now is there a window for Yapp to get to that left-hand cushion? May have to bend this a bit, play bottom.
Yeah, he did actually catch a track towards the left side rail, so he'll be hitting the 1.
And if he does have to bend that cue ball, he's going to have to play this with a bit of pace.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to hit it with a bit of draw. Even if the angle was there, typically you want to hit this kick with a bit of draw. You're able to come at it a little bit more directly. Hit the right side of it, but didn't make it. Got safe to the point where he can't pocket it. Look for the cue ball to end up behind the 9 here, and the 1 banking towards the 10, possibly leaving a combo on the next shot. You got to be careful because he probably will be able to hit the 1 somehow. He might not even play it towards the 10 just because of that. Look at this shot. Look at this shot.
Wow. Wow. Shot to nothing, got the cue ball behind the 9, but as you said, Eric, it was risky because he'd have been able to jump that, but what a shot from Gorst there. Yeah. 1-1, and he secured the break. He had to go at the 10 earlier. And again, all these creative shots born from the fact that that 2 was on the side cushion locked up. But I said, I might have been with you on day 1, that I love Albert Einstein saying about creativity. It's intelligence having fun.
Yeah, no kidding. His pool IQ is off the charts and just uses it in every match he plays.
Well, he's won a couple racks in this match already, securing the 10 early. And again, watching where that 10 floats after the break.
There it goes. Six ball could be playing into a combo here. He's got a shot on the 2. Cue ball can track between the 5-6. Have to weave around the 8 between the 8-7 on the second angle. There is a way out of this though. Probably going to try to bring the cue ball back to near where it is right now. Could just draw out of the angle as well if you don't want to play between those balls. Looks like he is going to draw it. Nice hit.
Again, a very knowledgeable crowd here at the Kellogg Arena. Applauding the subtle shots.
Probably be coming 2 rails back towards the 5 here. Interesting to see what he plays. I mean, the 2 rails is back into the angle. I'll have to assume he would. He's just going with high though. He's okay playing it in a number of ways there, but it's interesting to note that, you know, you want to avoid drawing the ball whenever you can. Even if you were playing into the angle going into the second rail, you chose to just stun it, kind of play the more simple shot. Passed up on the combo, probably a good idea. The rest of the balls are lying pretty good. Just for his 4th break-in run of the match. And 6th game in a row won. Pardon me. Yapp's on 1. Got a little straighter than what he would have liked here. Drawing angles playing the 9 in the corner. Might be able to cheat it enough to still play the 9 in the side. Yeah, he's got the following angle to play the 9 in the side, so that's what he's going to go with. Ending up on the rail, but the 10's close enough to the pocket that he'll be okay. Just come 3 rails around, put a little power into it. Could choose to just cinch it as well. Not afraid to power the ball. Shots like that, if you feel like playing the tougher position, you'll never miss the first ball. You probably lean towards playing the tougher position most of the time to get better on the second ball.
2-1. I think you've already said, Eric, that's his 4th break and run out of the 6 racks that he's won.
Yeah, he's on 65% break and run percentage playing and rack 10 ball. It's impressive stuff. Final's going to be at 9. The men's final is going to be at 9 o'clock tonight. I believe there's 8 women left on the women's side. We're going to have a 6:30 women's match. Final 8, Kelly Fisher and Allison Fisher. Going to be an epic battle there.
Yeah, that's coming up next. So to all our fans watching the stream, you won't want to go too far. You've got a Hall of Famer up against another future Hall of Famer. Rack number 4 already, of course, 2-1 in front.
Four railer on the 3 went. Got a shot. It's going to be a tough opener, but I'd expect him to go for it. Tricky thing about this is the cue ball is going to have a lot of energy in it. Going to have to run into another ball. The safe's pretty easy. I mean, the safe would be the cue ball behind the 5 or possibly towards the 4-6. I'd favor the 5.
And the reason being, you can take the 1 up and down the center of the table. And you know you're going to put it into a safe area. Might be close to the 10 though.
Yeah, I think he feels like he can pocket the 1 a high enough percentage of the time, but it's getting the cue ball in the right spot for the 2 after making the 1 that might make him play safe here.
He's so good. I mean, the safety is only an option when there's nothing else that he fancies, and I mean, there's not a lot that's safe on the table when he's there.
I think he might have to play safe, though, because the cue ball is really running into the 6. If you take it to the left of the 6, you're not going to be able to slow it down. He called it in. See which balls he runs into here, because he definitely can't. I don't think he can slow it down without running into something. He actually could. I just realized he could go right up the middle, too, with some right spin. That's what he's playing. I was thinking about running into the 4 there.
Yeah.
But playing the right spin made him miss the ball. Tricky spot. I mean, he wanted to stay at the table. Favored the offense there. Can't tell if Yapp has enough of the pocket to pocket the 1. I would lean towards he doesn't. Again, you could think about banking the cue ball or banking the 1 ball up the middle of the table. But it's tough to get the cue ball behind other balls if you play that shot.
Just asked for his extension too, so just wants a bit more time. It's a big moment. He's 2-1 down in a set he has to win.
He might have enough of the pocket, actually. No, he's playing safe. Playing it up the middle. Maybe trying to hold the cue ball behind the 6 or maybe behind the 8. Slowed it down with stun. Good shot, but he got it. Caught a window between the 4-7. You can see his body language there. A little bit upset. Didn't play a bad shot. Just didn't end up exactly how he wanted. Fedor has the same problem on this shot too, though. He can't slow the cue ball down. You can take it around 4 rails. Watch, we might be in for a good shot here. Oh, he's banking it. Banking and trying to play the 2 ball or the cue ball behind the 2. Good shot. Left room on the right side rail to make a hit on the 1. Pretty tough to kick safe at a ball that's in the middle like this. It's going to go for the jump. It's only about a half ball jump. I mean, if he was on a full ball jump when the cue ball was this close to the 2, he wouldn't be able to jump it, but he only has to jump over half the ball here.
He caught the 2. That's a foul.
Yeah. First shot I saw was a kick. I mean, for sure he could have got over it, but that was the risk when the cue ball's so close to the ball, you're jumping over there. Tied up to 6, though. Looks like Fedor's thinking safe here. Could think safe to the point where he pushes the 1 near the 10 as well. Set up a 1-10 combo.
Yeah, I don't think he's happy with that.
Yeah. Wonder if he was worried if he pushed the 1 by the 10 that there was a chance that Yapp could kick it in.
Well, I think he wanted to take the side cushion away too. He didn't get the cue ball up to the 6 as he intended.
Yeah, he wanted to freeze the cue ball more to the 6. Nice shot. 3 rails, chance of getting safe, and he did. Judging by how aggressive he's been in the match, I would expect him to bank this in. Safes don't actually lie great. I mean, he could play the cue ball behind the 5 if he were to play safe. He's calling the side though. Cue ball's gonna be coming around 3 rails. Just backed off, and I don't like the 2 on the side here. I feel like it's way too sharp. He's thinking about some kind of safe option. I'm not quite seeing it yet. I mean, you could push the 2 past the 9 and run it into the 6.
I'm curious to see what he's going to do too after taking the 1
Look
on.
at this creative shot. He's going to play a kick safe when he can see the full ball. Try to play the cue ball behind the 9. You know, that was actually decently high percentage. It didn't work out for him. But I mean, even me being here, he's seen the game a little bit different than me. He's seen it at a super high level, right? Like kicking at balls that he can see fully, right? Nice shot there. Almost got behind the 7, but he's okay. Rack's opened up now. Can pocket the 6. It's going to be to level the score at 2 each and breaking. So you'd make him a small favor because he is breaking in the 5th rack of the 2nd set. It's okay. He's got enough angle to come across table. Bit of cue ball movement here, but you'd expect him to stay in line. Both players have that nice pause at the back of their stroke, transitions nicely into a solid forward stroke. Good timing, both of them. Yapp's a little bit shorter on the backstroke. Fedor's a little bit longer. Nice shot there. Got a little straighter than he wanted. Cue ball was going the wrong way, so he powered out of it 2 rails forward. Got good on the 8. Ten ball's kind of in the middle here, so you could play it for either pocket. I feel like you're just going to finesse draw it, kind of smooth draw it back, play it in the bottom left pocket. Crossed it over. Yeah, you want to hit those shots more aggressively. It's a good shot.
Well, when he's had a chance in this 2nd set, he's come good. Again, his opportunities haven't come too often, but at 2-2, if you could just extract a couple good breaks, see himself home, force a 3rd set, anything can happen.
Yeah, you got to make the breaker a favor. I mean, both of these players break the ball so well. If they make a ball, I mean, the variable is they're going to get a shot on the 1. Nice to have uncertainty in every rack, though, right? Like, you know, when Fedor broke and ran 3 in the 1st set, we never expected that. Like, it's very hard to break and run racks in these situations.
Yeah, lost the cue ball.
I believe he might be trying to cut it. So, like, when you cut it like that, you can. It's a little bit more conducive to making the 1 on the side. It's possible that he missed the square a couple times, but I think he's trying to push the 1 towards the side pocket a little more. 4 ball's a little surrounded here. Can't quite see if he's going to have any tracks to be able to pocket it. If he got the cue ball near the 6, he'd be okay. It's tough, though.
Weighing it up in his mind, and while he has a look, let's just again thank our primary sponsors here, Samsung TV Plus, of course the Predator Group and Q Sports International. Also want to thank Kamui Tips, Medallia Light, pretty smooth beer that we had in Puerto Rico last year.
Good.
World Championships, Eric.
That tournament's scheduled again for November of this year.
It is, and coming up in just a few weeks, you're going to have the World Championships in Austria this year. These guys will both be there. Hometown of Albin and Jasmine Ocean.
Underdrew this one. Banks available. Pretty aggressive play if you try to bank it. I think he's going to play the cue ball below the 8 here. The one pocket type shot there. Nice shot. Got him frozen pretty much. Left the short rail. Left the 2 rail angle as well. I think I'd favor the 2 rail angle. The 1 rail is kind of pushing the 3 into the 10 ball, which on a real low percentage you could combo it in, but not likely enough.
Also got to be careful. Important to contact this 3 because Fedor has knocked that 3 over towards the 4, and the 4 was the awkward ball in this rack. So you give him cue ball in hand now.
Yeah, he'll be able to develop the 4. He's called the 3 in the side, so he's trying to hit the top side of it. If it doesn't go on the side, he's ideally hoping it banks over behind the 7. I think he'll hit this one with a decent amount of speed. And it almost went in the corner. There is a small window between the 9-10 where if you get on a perfect angle, you could pocket the 4. Let's see if he tries to get at that here. Yep, he's going over looking at it right away. That's his only option. I mean, he's straight in, so he can't develop any angle going to the right or left. Might have underdrew it a little bit. See by his body language here. He's got to get down to look at it, but he just called his extension, so. I mean, even if he could make it, I feel like he'd be taking more time. Yeah, he called it.
I think he's also identified that this is the shot of the rack, and at 2-2, it's taken on a little added significance.
Sure. Could run the cue ball into the 10 here. He might be able to play it on top of it, 2 rails over. This shot. It's got angle to move towards the 6 now.
Well, one person will be in the wings, just relaxing and thinking about the match tonight, 9 o'clock. Viktor Selensky from Poland. He'll be opposing the winner of this match, the final. He's underhit this.
Hit this. It's a little straight. Just misjudged how much he had to draw it. Here comes the jump cue. Definitely. This first time we've seen him jump in the match, I think. But he's a very strong jumper.
Yeah, and he's got to get the negative thoughts out of his mind as he preps for this because he shouldn't have had to use this cue.
Right in the heart. Right in the heart. No chinks in the armor. Used the whole pocket that time. One of the first times we've seen him kind of be off on the center pocket targeting, but he's good. Going to be breaking on the hill. Won the first set with 3 breaking runs. See if he's able to finish it off in style.
Manufactured by a great jump shot on the 6. 3-2. And breaking for the match.
Great execution by Fedor for sure to draw it back exactly where he needed to pocket the 4, but a little bit unlucky for Yapp that the 3 kind of led into getting into that small area as well.
You know, when your opponent plays a shot and you kind of perk up, you go to the edge of your seat, and then you have to slink back down into it again. How deflating is it as a player?
Well, yeah, and especially if you're playing, you know, a top level player, right? It's like, it's not the threat of losing that rack, it's and especially in winner breaks formats too, it's the threat of losing that rack and maybe multiple racks, right? But
you feel like you're going to get a shot, Eric, and you don't.
oh, sure, yeah, sorry, yeah, yeah. I mean, with this guy, whenever he's at the table, you can never underestimate the fact that you might not get back. Made one on the side, 1 ball's over the corner, but the 9 ball barely got him. He has the edge, but it's tough to tell if he can pocket it. I feel like he can. No?
I don't think so, Eric. I'm
Okay.
right behind it. I don't think he can get enough of this one. Tough to tell how close it is to the pocket, of course, but
He can kick it in if he can't see it directly. He can kick to the left of the 9. If he does that, the cue ball will be moving towards the 4 and the 7, but should be stopped by those balls.
yeah, he wants to kick at it.
Cue ball's kind of traveling the right way, but I could see it hitting the 7 a lot of the time. Doesn't mean it's going to necessarily hurt him. It'll just mean more distance between the cue ball and the 3 on the second shot.
Again, just confirming in his mind, point of contact on that cushion and the angle, because he's got to back cut the 1 off that cushion. And of course, that cue ball will be tracking over towards the 4 and the 7 Eric. But now it looks like he's going off the top cushion, so it might be just safety. Or the thin clip for safety.
I guess he was worried about the cue ball running into the 4-7 there, because to kick it in wasn't that tough. Yapp's got the jump cue out. He can make the 1 in the corner. He'll be favoring the overcut side of this shot. If he does, the 1's going to tend to stay down at this end of the table, at the end of the table that the 10's on. The cue ball's going to go up table. Called it in the corner. Going to cross bank it, so he's leaning towards like a jump safe here more than actually playing it in. Great shot. See if he gets the coverage. Worked out. Nice shot. Fedor is going to be able to kick at the 1. He's going to try to get the 9 in between the cue ball and the 1. Didn't quite get there. Didn't quite line up the 5 either. I mean, if he cuts the 1 a lot, he can make it. Looks like he's just going to opt for safe. There was more aggressive options there. I guess he liked that one. Could play the cue ball behind the 9 now. Didn't get it. Left an edge for sure.
Yeah, I think he's accepted that he's not going to like his next shot.
Interesting to see these moving games between great players. Left the short rail. If he plays with a bunch of left, he can go at it 2 rails and try to hit the right side of the 1. 5 will stop the 1, get the cue ball moving away from it. Maybe 1 rail, just really thin. Oh, he tried to thin it, just didn't quite, just missed the outside of it. Just going to play the 1 behind the 5 and the cue ball behind the 10. If it gets him behind the 10, the 1's going to be extremely hard to hit. How hard do you think it is to 3-foul Fedor?
I've commentated a lot of his matches. I haven't seen that one yet.
If he gets the cue ball behind the 10 here, he's got a shot. It's not going to go behind, though.
Now, is there room for that 1 to squeeze between the 5 and the cushion?
Yeah, so that would hurt him. The 1 would go towards the side, but he's going to try to play a similar shot to what he played last time. More likely the 1 will hit the 5 and stay around that area. He's going to try to go at it thin again. Ooh, I was going to say no rail, but he did get it. This is trickier than it looks. Both balls are almost frozen. He wants to move forward with the cue ball to be able to play position on the 3, but it's tough to follow a ball when they're that close. Might actually play safe.
Safety's easy. And just kill the cue ball behind the 5.
Good shot. I think he took away the left side rail. The right side rail. Just going to kick at it 2 rails to the left of the 5. Very small chance of making it if he hits the right side of the ball. Look at that. Hit the right side of it, just didn't make it. Still got to navigate through this rack, but we got a chance at Hill here. Great match so far.
Yeah, we've seen it all, haven't we? I mean, superlative cue control and runouts. Seen some very adept safety play.
10 ball is going to lend more to that, you know. Nice subtle shot there, kicking the 3 in the proper direction where he can get the cue ball moving naturally towards the 4. Might be a little worried here that the cue ball's running into the 9. He'd be okay, but worst thing is that the 9 could get between the cue ball and the 4. I think he's straight enough that he's going to the right of the 9. Yeah, I went to the corner because he actually had too much angle. Shot. Playing back into the angle for the 5 in the side here. Got nice and close to it. Natural angle up for the 6. Cubo's traveling a little further right than what he would have liked. Could play a following option to the right of the 10, to the left of the 10. Nice shot. Good stun follow there. Got nice and close to the 7. Movement from the 9 to the 10, but a big favorite to make it hill-hill in the second set here.
Yeah, he doesn't have that type of cue power that Fedor Gorst possesses, but he's very compact with his action. And he plays within himself, Eric. I think that might be the key to his success. Doesn't try to be a player that he's not.
Yeah. Been playing international tournaments for over 5 years. Most of the international tournaments. Just seeing something on the 8 there. Doesn't want a bad contact.
These are the type of matches that are pretty easy to commentate, really. You just let the play speak for itself.
Oh, yeah. It's nice high-level stuff. Awesome to watch. Probably going to draw up the left side of the table here. Bunch of left spin. Make sure you come wide enough. Finesse players will stay on the left side of the table. Power players might bring it across. Yeah, crosses there as well.
Tricky 10 to level it up.
There we go, hill-hill.
And Yapp with the break. What he wouldn't give for a good break here.
I believe he's been trying to cut the break a couple times to have a better shot at making the 1 in the side. It hasn't gone in the side, so he might go back to trying to hit it square here.
Both players wiping their palms.
It's a little bit on the humid side. Yeah, it's been probably in the 70s.
It's been very warm outside. And the first day it was very humid inside, and then day 2 I definitely felt the air conditioning, and I mean that really affects the way these tables play. That dampness, they really want to get that dampness off the table.
Yeah, and it's harder to play on damp tables, and to see these guys playing at such a high level. I mean the conditions are good, no doubt, but just saying that they're taking that into consideration into what they're doing as well. Yeah, hit that one more square, got more travel out of the whole rack, but didn't make one again. 2's going to tie up with the 9.
Yeah, he just didn't get the chance to dictate proceedings here. He'd like to have made a ball and at least been able to, keep the initiative. And Now it's Fedor with the chance on this one. It's got an open one, but the 2 tied up with the 9.
A lot of blockers in the middle of the table in this game. The way he was queuing at that, I think he was considering playing safe, but he's called the top right corner pocket.
He would love to have gotten that down closer to the 10, wouldn't he?
That's what he was trying, actually, yeah. And I've seen him do that a couple times where it's like he's playing safe on the first ball and then still leaving a tied up ball. It's an interesting strategy. To me, you know, if you make the first ball, then you can kind of play safe off the second ball, open it up, and have the advantage. But the reason why he shot that one is because he was trying to get the 1 close to the 10. Good hit by Yapp. Going to be a few saves here till we open up the 2. Can play the cue ball back to the middle of the table here. Use that 5, 6, 7, 4 stack as blockers. Wanted to get the cue ball a little closer to the 7 and take the jump away, and you can see Yapp's considering the jump right away. Most obvious kick here would be 2 rails, and that's kicking the 1 at the 2-9, so I think he's going to avoid that. He's going to go with the jump. Yeah, jump bank. If you bank it in, you're going to have some kind of safe option on the 2. Fluke the 3. Wow, Fedor's going to put him back in. Weird roll there. Would have never expected to make the 3. Because the reason he tried that jump bank too is because he knew he was going to have coverage, even if it didn't go in. But now he made a ball.
Yeah, he's unlucky. I'm a little surprised he isn't trying to take the cue ball towards the 10, calling the 10.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing about this one too is it's playing the 1 towards that 2-9. Like, I mean, you want that as a safe, fail-safe in case you leave a shot.
Yeah, I would never play that 1. He's called the left side. I would never play that 1 over there.
I guess the 8's kind of blocking the track for the 1 to hit the 2-9, but even leaving the 1 by the 2-9 could be dangerous as well.
No, he's kicking. So he's called the 1 to the side pocket.
Okay, so he knew he was going to hit that side of it, and he knew he wasn't going to take the 1 near it. It's a good shot.
Yeah, has he left a gap
I feel
between
like
the
he
4
has.
and 5?
Yeah, I feel like he has. He's calling it in. He has to swerve it. Let's try. Cue ball's in. Would he be aggressive enough to try the combo here? I mean, the 2's tied up.
He's gone right over to that side of the table to look at it.
I think you have to. It's a tough one, but I think you have to do it. Shot to tie the match up in sets here.
And as dominant as Fedor has been,
Yapp's hung in, and he's got a shot to win the set. Got it.
He got it. How about this? Aloysius Yapp, he's not willing to relinquish the crown just yet. 1 set apiece, and we're going to a decider. We're going to take a short break, and you won't want to miss this. Well, you wanted a third and deciding set, and we aim to deliver. It is set number 3. Aloysius, Yapp, Fedor, Gorst. Gorst with a dominant first set, 3 break and runouts to win 4-0. The last one, right to the bitter end, 4-3 for Aloysius Yapp. He is the 2-time defending champion of the Michigan Open, and Fedor Gorst taking a little longer break there, really trying to recompose himself, get himself back in the mindset similar to what he started this match out at.
Yeah, the first set was just dominant. I mean, we broke and ran 3 of the games. That set we saw a lot more moving. Yapp's, you can't say struggling on the break, but he's just not making balls. There goes the one. That's the one he wants. Went back to the square break.
Yeah, what a time it would be for Yapp to find the break and park Gorst in his chair. A little matter of money involved here too, Eric. $75,000 in total purse and $22,500 up to the top end to the winner, and second place just over half, $13,125. So not a bad few days' wages.
Yep, they're definitely has their interest peaked.
At the end of the day, money is life's report card.
Just a reminder then that in this set, if they tie 3 each, it goes to the shootout as well. Probably going to have to play a combo on the 5-6. Could be an option to come to the short side of it. Actually, if you guys were watching the semifinal, Fortunsky had a layout almost exactly like this, and he chose to play to the short side of it. The difference in that rack was he had to move the cue ball more to the next ball, and it was one of the only mistakes he made in the match. Zielinski played really well, so whoever wins this match, the final is going to be a great one. Got nicely on the 4. I feel like the angle he's played for lends to playing the combo a little more. He's going to go short side. This shows you want to avoid combos at all costs. Get the speed right. Yeah, it's good. Nice shot. I mean, if Yapp finds the break, he's a threat to run multiple racks, of course, as well, right? He hit the break that he was trying to hit the last in this game here. Hit the rack square, made the one on the side. If there's any element of repetition on what they're trying on the break, that's the one.
Well, and Yapp has never been in front in this match.
Good point, yeah.
And he's got a chance for the very first time if he wins this rack, and he should.
Yeah. So
he'll be just in front.
Yeah, he'll be feeling the momentum here. And conversely, Fedor was 1 game away from winning the match. Of course, he's so strong mentally that any kind of chance you give him, he's going to be right there. A little bit of chalk on the cue ball here. Didn't want any bad contacts. Got a little thinner than what he would have liked, but he'll be okay. Gonna play a more aggressive stroke on it, draw around the 10. Good speed there, straight back draw for the 10. For those of you who are just tuning in, Victor Zelinsky awaits the winner in the final. The final is going to be at 9 o'clock tonight.
And the first rack in the deciding and third set to the defending champion.
First break and run for Yapp, I think.
And maybe talking to Angela again about the rack.
Yeah, I didn't quite notice where the 10 ended up there. I mean, it didn't end up it didn't end up over the pocket, but I think just aware overall that if the 10 does start tracking towards that pocket, the wins can come really quick.
Talk so often about mental strength in playing this game. I mean, for the duration of the opening set, Yapp sat in his chair, arms folded, waiting, patiently waiting, and he's been rewarded.
Didn't get the 1 that time. See if he makes anything else. 7 maybe last ball. There it is. And he's on the 1.
Fedor was half out of his chair.
Yeah, last ball rolling there. 6 is tied up with the 8-9. 5 is reasonable for getting into small angles on the 6, but I feel like he might have to try to move it. Could get real aggressive and try to pocket the 2 and run the cue ball into the 6, but that's risky because the 6 could get in between the cue ball and the 3. Yeah, he got on the straighter side, so I don't see him doing that now. I mean, the 5 is close enough to the 6 that you could run into it at that point. Could play off the 4 into it as well. There's a small angle below the 6 where you can play the 6 in the long pocket. If you get a good angle on the 5, ideally a natural angle, you could get the cue ball in that small area to pocket the 6 up in the same pocket that he's going to make the 3 in. There's a safe option too. Might just go with that. Play the cue ball behind the 8.
That one certainly wiped its feet.
Yeah. Looks like he's going to back off to the safe. It'll be a good one. I mean, the cue ball is going to be buried up to the 8. He has the perfect angle to break into it, but the safe is so powerful as well that I still think he's going to favor safe here. Might actually have too much angle to get the cue ball where he wants for the safe.
Well, this is a key moment right now because he does have the angle. He can try and attack that 6 if he wants to. As you said, Eric, with the 6 above the 8, the safety option.
That's what I was thinking, but I feel like the cue ball might be moving a little too far to the right where he can't draw it straight enough back to play that anymore. He's cueing low at it, so he's probably just backing off to the save. He is straight enough to draw back. I went into it. Got it. It's very close. It's tough to tell. I'm going to have to see what his body language is over the ball. Looking away from the pocketing angle, so I feel like he's just going to thin it. Can't really get the cue ball behind anything else here, but Fedor's going to be in a tricky spot. Go for the corner. He's okay. Here you can cut the 6 into the 8, try to stop the movement of the 6 with the 8, and play the cue ball across table and try to get the 10 in between the cue ball and the 6. Could be a one pocket type save where you bank the 6 towards the corner that he's looking at now and play the cue ball behind the 8. I mean, he's looking at it as if he's going to bank it in. That's really aggressive. I'd love to see him make it. He might just be calling it there, though, because he's playing the cue ball behind the 8.
Well, I haven't seen him nominate that pocket yet.
He called it in the corner, yeah.
Bottom right?
Yeah. Oh, checked up a lot on him. Left it safe, though. I mean, Yapp can be aggressive here with the bank. Safe is probably going to be close, really high percentage, so it just depends how he's feeling.
Just called the 10.
Yeah, so is this kind of play the 6 safe and take a shot at the 10 here? You can hit the 6 thinly enough that it just lays on the right side rail and take a shot at the 10. Kind of a two-way there, playing the cue ball behind the 8 more.
That should be the rack winner.
Yeah. I'd make him a favorite to hit it, but I'd make him an underdog to not leave something good for Yapp. What kind of favor would you have made him to make it? It's all the spots where he's in such a bad spot. Somehow he just gets out of it. I mean, it's just.
I did say it. That could be the rack winner. I just didn't say with who.
Yeah, good call. Yeah. Sorry. Well, yeah.
Well.
And he got position on the 8th.
Oh, would you believe it?
I wonder if he was on like the thick side of the pocketing angle where he had to cheat the inside of the pocket a little bit. Crazy how things play in your mind too when you make a really tough shot like that, and then sometimes you just miss the next one for some reason.
Shocking.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like the 9 could have been in the way a little bit, so maybe he had to kind of play that part of the pocket, but yeah, just miss out of nowhere.
He's talking to himself, Eric. He's sitting in his chair talking to himself. He had a chance to completely turn this match on its head.
And now he's in a bad spot, down 2-0, Yapp's break.
Yeah, and kind of a smattering of applause because I think everyone expected, after that unbelievable kick make on the 6, expected Gorst to complete the last 3 ball clearance and win the rack. And like me, shocked when he missed the 8. But 2-0 in favor of Yapp. Motoring on for a place in the final against Zelinsky. And again, that'll be 9 o'clock tonight, local time. So get your dinner reservation in.
Biggest thing for Fedor here is getting another shot. Yapp's breaking. Could run the set out. One could go in the corner. Did. Got blocked on the 2, though. 7's blocking the easiest track to kick it in as well. I feel like he has to kick it in. I mean, it can't push here. Even pushing to a jump is not a good idea because you're always going to make the 2. He's going to jump at this? Wow. How strong of a jumper do you have to be to land the ball right on it there? I mean, you got to land on the ball here. Clear the 6 and land on the 2.
Such is the respect that he gives Gorst.
Yeah. Hit the 6. That's such a tough jump.
Well, Fedor waited and he's been rewarded.
I mean, the reason he had to jump at it is because the 7 was blocking the easiest kicking track at it as well.
Four or 5 combination bottom left will be on offer.
Yeah, decently laid out rack here. You'd expect him to run it out. Got to be careful here, bridging over the 10. Might be able to reach it, but he needs a point for his extension so he can bridge over so he can get his body out of the way of the 10 a little easier. Well, Fedor needed this. I mean, after the miss in the last game, needed to change momentum here. Very slight worry with the 4 tracking to the right a little bit. It's got to kind of got to cut it a little bit to ensure making the 5. Should be okay to hold it though. Did track to the right too much. Pretty easy save. You just cut the 4 to the right. Try to get the cue ball in between, or the 7-9 in between the cue ball and the 4. Yeah, it's too aggressive to try offense here. Looks like he got there. Nice shot. Side pocket's in the way of the natural kick angle. You can still draw it and hit it, but it's going to make the shot a little bit tougher overall. New cloth, he can widen this out enough going to that rail as well. Considering the other rail's an option now.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that call about the side pocket being in the way of what looks like the easiest path to that 4. That's why he's looking at having to really spin it.
Yeah, I think he realizes that he can't get wide enough going to the right side rail, so he's going to stick with the left, but he's going to have to draw it. He'll hit the ball, and I mean, the spot he's in is tough to play a kick safe regardless, but Just makes the shot tougher because he can't play it naturally. Or he's going to go before the side and spin it. Okay. That helps a little bit.
And he's left it.
Yeah.
Good safety from Gorst.
Nice tight match here. Going to be very, very likely going to be level at 2-all in the third set. And don't forget, if we get to 3-all, then it goes to the shootout. What a finish that would be.
And I haven't seen either one of them practicing that spot shot.
Yeah, I'm sure they put the practice in before coming. I don't think Fedor had to go to a shootout in the final. He had one shootout on the way to the final 16. He made all 5 shots, and Joey Tate made 4, missed the 5th one. Might have had another one along the way that I didn't notice, but.
Well, Yapp with the familiar pose from the first set. Crossed arms.
Yeah, it's getting a little humid in here. Cue ball's picking up a little more chalk than they want. You come back 2 rails, a lot of options here. Can just go 1 rail 2, stick with the natural angle. A little bit of a little bit of left spin helped him pocket the ball there. Played nicely into position. Not afraid to power up when he needs it, get better on the 10.
He's won the break back. 2-1 still to Yapp. The third and deciding set in the semifinal. Again, Viktor Zielinski from Poland. Relaxing and waiting. 9 o'clock local time, the final. And as yet, he doesn't know who he's going to be playing.
Before that, Allison Fisher and Kelly Fisher are going to be facing off at 6:30. That's a quarterfinal match on the women's side. Be a whole round of quarterfinals at 6:30, and we'll be down to 4 women by the end of today. Tomorrow, 2 rounds to crown the women's champion. Who won the match with Jasmine and Sayo?
Jasmine. Good match.
Okay.
It featured some great shot making, a lot of unexpected misses. I think Jasmine in the end would probably tell you she was very fortunate to survive. But isn't that what tournaments are about?
Sure, yeah. Getting through when you're not playing your best sometimes.
Well, Fedor put a 3-pack together to win the first set. What he wouldn't give to put a 3-pack together here.
Small mental advantage too, that if you win this game, you know you're going to the shootout. Minimum. Hit him well. Didn't get one. The 1's makeable. It's leading in a decent position on the 2. Makeable, but also missable. I mean, they're playing so well, you'd expect them to make it.
Just not quite sure exactly how he wants to play this one.
It's very thin. I mean, you could consider playing safe. I feel like he's going to go for it. Calling him in the corner. Yeah, he knows it's a big shot. Really going into the tank here. Think about when the object ball is close to the cue ball, it's really tough to judge where you need to hit it as well. Got it. Nice shot. Want to hit this at a real slow speed, try to hang the 2 over the side. 4 ball is going to stop the speed of the cue ball. Just about hitting the 7 right in the center of the angle that the cue ball is going to be traveling from. If he hits it to the left, that's the worst thing. Right could be bad too. Dragged at it. Nice shot.
Couldn't have worked out a lot better.
Yeah.
As you said, he'll have the comfort blanket of knowing the worst he's going to get is a shootout if he secures this rack to go 3-1 in front.
Bit of movement from the 5 to the 6. Should be okay to play the 6 in the corner by the 9. Maybe the side, depending on how he falls on the 5. Draw over to the right a little bit. You can play the cue ball back 2 rails for the 6 in the top right pocket. Got a little straighter, so he might go to the side. Yeah, cue ball's really picking up chalk.
Again, a testament to the humidity in here and the dampness.
It's going to go to the side. I mean, the only reason to not consider it is because the cue ball is going to be traveling to the right, to the left a little bit. If he does go to the side, that'll be okay for playing the 9 in the top right pocket, though. Oh, he got straight enough that he can just stop it. Jeez, he got close to edging himself on the 8 there. Might even have to throw it in. It's okay. Great comeback from Yapp after just really being stuck in his chair for the whole first set.
Yeah, you really have to tip your hat to him. You know, as disconsolate as he looked sitting in his chair with his arms folded, did not in any way indicate exactly what was going on in his head. He stayed positive, waited for his chance. In the second set, it arrived. He played some real pressure pool to squeak that one home. And now He's put himself in command. And it's a 3-1 advantage here in the third and deciding set. So at worst, a shootout for our defending champion. Looking for a three-peat, Eric.
Yeah, this is his tournament. How tough is it to win a pro tournament 3 times in a row? Happened at the U.S. Open a couple times. I think Mika won it 3 times in a row. Darren did.
Shane
too, yeah, 3 times in a row. Yeah.
Earl Strickland probably back in the day. He had
Yeah.
five U.S. Opens, Earl. Maybe I don't think he won 3 in a row. Though.
5 total, but
Yeah.
split apart. Yeah.
Should be looking for property here in Michigan. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a very kind state to him.
Crossed over the rack a little bit, which is not going to lead into making the 1 as much, and didn't make one. Not really any problems in this rack. Controlling the 1 off the combo. Should be able to do that. Might have to play a 6-10 combo, but 10's close enough to the pocket that I'd make him a favorite if he gets a good angle on it. Didn't end up quite where he wanted. He can play it with a fair bit of left spin and get the cue ball going inside the 10 and tracking back towards the 2 in the side pocket, kind of where the cue ball is right now. Oh, he had to get real close to the corner there, almost too close. Good shot, though.
Yeah, well played.
Feel like where the 5 is, he's probably going to play the combo on the 6-10. There is an option to come below it, though, and play the 6 in the long pocket. I don't know, the 6 is pretty far from the 10, so maybe you would favor avoiding it.
I think where he drops on the 5 will tell us everything. See what kind of angle he leaves himself.
Yeah, if he's going to get below it, he's going to play the 6 straight in. If he stays above it, he'll play the combo. We got straight. He got in between, but maybe he has a straight back drawing angle.
I think he does.
Yeah.
I think he can draw the straight back between the 6 and the 10.
Overhit it a bit. This is tougher than it looks. Gonna have to power here. You could power follow or power draw it, whatever your choice is. I'm thinking the follow. Stun out 1 rail. Gotta hit it real hard. Such a missable shot when you're playing at that speed. He's left it too. What a turnaround in this match. Just 2 mistakes, really, from Fedor. I mean, the second set he played well. Missed the 8 in this set. That was a big one.
I think everyone can sense, as can we, that Fedor Gorst's run in the Michigan Open was 3 balls away from coming to an end. And as well as he has played at times, as unbeatable as he has looked,
That's a little more angle than he wanted.
Yeah, just one more tricky shot, Eric. One more 10 needs to slither down that bottom cushion. And Aloysius Yapp has made his way to his 3rd final in a row. A thrilling win over Fedor Gorst here, and he will oppose Victor Zielinski in the final tonight, 9 o'clock again, local time. You'll want to be there, but what a final here. Hats off to Fedor Gorst. He played some terrific pool at stages, but just couldn't take the defending champion out. So Aloysius Yapp through to the final there. Great day, and still more pool to come. The ladies, the 2 Fishers to battle it out shortly.
Yeah, back at 6:30.
Thanks, everybody. See you then.